Well, hi, we're back in the shed, as you can see.
I'm Anne.
And I'm Alison.
So we just said what has come up this week. And one of the most important things that's come up for me this week is something I've been working at, and I think a lot of us work out for a long time, is loving yourself. And a lot of people go, what does that mean? Does it mean people do it in meditation? People do it when they're thinking about things. But it really struck me this week, what it really means is to imagine that you're sitting next to yourself, and that person you are in love with more than anyone else. And it's minute by minute doing lovely things, really lovely things. And it's not the big stuff. You can do the big stuff. You can take them on holiday. You can do big decisions. It's like, and this is a hard one, I think, for both of us. Do I really want to be hoovering right now?
I never want to be hoovering. That's why I've got a husband, isn't it? I never want to be hoovering.
But it's like, do I really just want to sit for 5 more minutes and finish this book? When I have got 5 minutes, it's not like I'm late. Do I really want to be watching the football because somebody else wants to and I don't want to? It's the tiny conversations that you think, if I really loved the person that was doing this, would I be encouraging them to do this or do something else?
And I think it's true, because you kind of said, if it was, your daughter or your son or your husband even, it's like, you would be saying, no, do something else.
Do something else.
And I think it's really interesting. And when you were talking to me about it, and you treated yourself.
Exactly.
You treated yourself.
I treated myself to a new Kindle, because that is my guilty pleasure. Is a Kindle, and I have one, but this other one came out and it's better. And can I live without it? Yes, we can live without a lot of things. But if that had been my daughter or my son sitting there and they said, I really want this, I'd have said, yeah, buy it. I'll buy it for you. Yeah. I'll buy you, I'll treat you. And I think it's really interesting just viewing yourself from a little bit outside and loving yourself. And waking up in the morning going, isn't this lovely? I'm going to go for a lovely walk. I'm going to treat myself. And you do this in the mornings a lot, don't you?
Yeah, I think what's interesting, and now, thank goodness, the weather's better.
Finally got some sunshine.
And I recently rediscovered or restarted sea swimming. And sea swimming for me is something which I recognised a long time ago. It's something which connects with my soul somewhere on a really, really deep level, in that I'm always best if I'm able to swim in the sea.
Yeah.
So that comes with a lot of other baggage when you're in this country, because you have to be able to grit your teeth and actually breathe, and all the rest of it. And it was great, because there was a couple of weeks ago, my niece was down. I knew that she was into swimming, and we were on a beach, and I kind of went, all right, are you going in? And she said, I will if you will, and the same thing. So we kind of, at that point, I had a shorty wetsuit, and we just went in. It was everything you could imagine it would be.
Warm, sunny,
lovely. Well, it was warm and sunny outside
the water.
So we kind of ran in and did this. Anyway, so that was it, and it was just the most amazing feeling to come out. And I have to say that I went swimming a week later, and it was one of those kind of practical things where I kind of thought, if I put the wetsuit on, it's going to be heavy, and I'm going to have to schlep it up the hill from the beach, which was where we were. And I just kind of thought, well, I'm not going to be in for long, so I'll just go without it. And I'm just like, what? Anyway, so there we go. Now I don't have to wear the wetsuit. It's amazing. So, but there is something about it. And sometimes when I know it's going to be good in the morning, I will decide I'm going to pack up my breakfast, and I'm going to go to whatever beach it is. And what's brilliant is, round here, even though it's a kind of popular place, 8 o'clock in the morning, there are not many people on the beach.
You can get a parking spot.
Yeah, you can get a parking spot, you're on the beach, that kind of thing. And, there might be a few dog walkers and stuff like that. But it was brilliant. And I just went down to this beach. I knew the tide was up. I knew it would come in over this lovely sandy, it was this tiny bit of beach. So I went down, put myself on the beach, went out for a swim, and it was just the most incredible thing. And the water was clear, and
So if your daughter had come to you and said, I really love going swimming in the morning, you would put everything aside and take her. And I think that's what we're saying about, it really connects you with what you love to do.
Yeah.
And it connects you back to loving yourself.
Mm.
And the other thing I've noticed in that time is how different people around me have been.
Mm.
So it's almost like, because there's an energy shift, that I'm not calling on others to energetically make me happy. I'm just doing my thing. People around me seem to be more content to do their thing. So everybody feels more at ease. So it's just been it's a selfish, selfless, improve other people, not just yourself moment.
And you don't have to, I mean, it's like interesting. I saw some interview with somebody and they kind of said, you know, that one of the questions was, what's your guilty pleasure? And they went, well, I just have pleasures. I don't have guilty pleasures. And I'm like, well, that's a great attitude.
It is.
Because it's just like, why should you have to feel guilty
about loving sea swimming?
Yeah, about loving sea swimming. Or, you know, in fact, you know, probably what it would be in our house is watching RuPaul's Drag Race, you know, because that doesn't go down well with the other person. But it's like, do you know what? If you're going to go off and do something else, you know, I just want to spend 40 minutes doing this.
It's just that.
And it's a treat, and I don't have to do anything else. And I also had this thing, I think when it wasn't such good weather, there were things that I did, having a bath in the morning. That is a thing. Not having 2 minutes in the shower because you have to get dressed and then you have to get to work and then you have to show up on your computer and do your Zoom and all the rest of it. But saying, actually, do you know what? 15, 20 minutes, I'm going to get in the bath, I'm going to put the radio on, I'm going to read a book and have a cup of tea, and then I'm ready to start the day. And it's, why not?
And the other part I think of it is there are things that we don't love to do straight away, like parts of work, or we do have to hoover from time to time. But it's just that when we can build up resentments. So actually, by putting yourself first in as many places as you can, the resentment drops away, and then you have a much cleaner connection with people around you, because you're coming from a point of view of balance and contentment, whereas often we meet people and there's a need. We come with an agenda, a hidden agenda. You know,
make me happy, make me feel happy, better,
or so, you know, soothe the hurt that I haven't told you I've got, or mend the resentment that is a complete secret. And we have this inner dialogue sometimes, and by just loving yourself, it takes all that inner dialogue and rubbish away, that you can meet people openly, which is really nice.
And you know, it was like, you know, going into, I knew I had a breakfast, I went in, and it was great actually. I kind of sat on the beach and there was this guy with his dog, and his dog kind of came over and was walking all over my blanket, and I could have been a bit pissed off with the owner, and the owner made some remark about, oh, you know, you're just looking for any sandwiches, and I went, yeah, not for you though, matey. And it was like we had a laugh about it. I didn't have to get cross, whereas the dog had wandered onto my blanket with its sandy paws. It's a beach.
They don't tend to wipe their paws. Yes, so we recommend just trying this, loving yourself, which sounds really a little bit new age and a bit odd, but it really is the small stuff. The big stuff is easier to spot. It's the small little treats, the bath, the what do I feel like I really want at this moment.
And actually, to get rid of the should be doing and the want to be doing.
And then
but for me,
and when you've got that other bit, you think, well, you know what, I do want to be doing this work because it pays, it's actually quite interesting, there's bits that are a bit tedious but I can do them, and you can find it quite celebratory because you clear the other stuff out.
I know. So love yourself, guys.